moved out of my apartment into this thing, and it's like 11:30 at night. I'm putting reflectix on my windows thinking, is this the worst thing I've ever done in my life? Have I made a huge mistake?
Hi everyone, welcome back to our next video. Today we're going to meet Brock. Hi Brock.
How's it going, everyone?
And Brock, you got a little bit of an accent there.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me if I'm from Alabama. But I keep telling them a little bit further south than Alabama. I'm actually from Australia, yeah. Been out here about 6.5 years now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I am actually a permanent resident. I have my green card. It's a 10-year visa. And I got about 3 years, roughly 3.5 years until it ends. And then that time I plan on getting my citizenship, which is a naturalization process.
And so of the last 6.5 years, have you been in the van the whole time?
No, I was living in Phoenix in the city. I did have a studio apartment for a while, and my actual 500 square foot studio went from, I think it was $950 with utilities included, and they bounced right up to like $1,350. Yeah, I wasn't going to pay that for a little tiny studio in the middle of not such a nice area.
So because the rent had gone up, you moved into the van then?
Yeah, I had 2 months to get it ready to be somewhat livable from the time I found out my rent was going up. So every weekend for 2 months, I would just start working on this. The first thing I did was get rid of all the bench seats out of there, maxi fan, a bed, and solar power. Power is a big thing for me because I love my gadgets. I have a lot of gadgets, and I needed power to run all those things.
Yeah, sure.
So that was the most expensive part of my build, was the getting the power in there.
And so this was in Phoenix, and when you moved into the van, you couldn't keep living in Phoenix. It's too hot.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
I did. I have to because I work in Phoenix. So I would camp out around the Lake Pleasant area, so I at least wasn't stuck parking on a street in Phoenix. I'm not really big on city. Like a lot of people like the stealth camping, the urban camping. It's not for me. I prefer to be out like here somewhere like Quartzsite, where we got this nice big open desert expanse and peace and quiet and animals running around. I like that. Working in Phoenix, I had to be somewhat close, I had to install some air conditioning in there, which I've gone through a couple of different options, but now I've settled with a mini split. It's a 12/24 volt mini split that I installed. It does suck up a lot of power. I do have a fairly large battery bank, but I definitely need to upgrade my solar to match that, because my biggest problem is now I'll work that power bank down during the day with the mini split, and then I struggle to fully charge it the next day with the amount of solar I've got. So, but we have options. As you can see, I have this backup 100 amp hour battery. I'll literally jumper cable that onto my battery bank when I'm getting low.
Well, why don't we take a look inside your rig and see what you've done?
Sounds like a plan. This thing's constantly changing. I literally just made adjustments to it just last weekend. This has been here since I moved into the van, was the reflectix on the window. I actually moved into the van on my birthday. Years down the track, I actually love van life now. I was super scared when I did it because obviously I'm not from this country. I was scared of repercussions and stuff like that, and was it really going to be a good choice to do? And honestly, I love it. I love the freedom. I love being able to travel. I love the fact that wherever I park my van is home to me, and every day's a new experience. So, but I'm constantly working on this thing. So as you can see, we've put some custom vinyl on here. I reupholstered these doors. We've made some adjustments at the top here. We've got a weather station. We've got the high boost awning. These are LED lights. I also have underglow. This is also a party rig when I want it to be. My lighting inside here is actually motorcycle underglow. I bought it off Amazon, and it was designed to go underneath a motorcycle. It's kind of like an underglow for a car. As you can see, I've got lots of gadgets here. We got We got the fridge, we got the microwave, we got a Cricut vinyl cutter, we got an air fryer. In the front, I got an Instant Pot. All sorts of other things, hot plates, TV, internet. I have a PlayStation 5, which is buried up into the back corner there, next to a diesel heater, which is also underneath groceries right now. But there's a reason why I have a big power bank. It's because I like to run a lot of power and a lot of comforts. I just put these US General toolboxes in here. They're not for tools, they're just for bedside. It's like having a bedside table. I did repurpose some of this from my studio, so I had this, that was my computer table there that was out of my studio. This has changed many times. I used to just have a curtain made out of this material across here, and I hated the curtain because everything would fall through it. So I ended up putting a hard wall up, and then we have that's the head unit for the mini split. Yeah, it'll blow nice and cold.
And this just goes down through the door and right on the other side.
Yeah, that's why it's a little ugly here, because I had to take off the panel on the inside, and at some point I'll cover that back up. But I have the power and the AC tubing all running through a hole in the door there.
And what brand of mini split is this?
I would tell you, but I don't remember.
Okay.
It's off Amazon. It's from China, I can tell you that. I can tell you it was very, very cheap. I think it was like $400. For $400, I was willing to gamble a Chinese air conditioner. I will say this is actually my second one. I'm not a master at installing things. I kind of learn as I go. In fact, I watched a lot of your videos I watched for van layouts to figure out what I wanted to do and what kind of setup that I wanted to do. So I did kill my first mini split. I overfilled it with refrigerant and blew it up. So I learned my lesson from trial and error and put this second one in, and I didn't overfill this one. It's been running great for, I want to say, 2 summers now, and haven't had a problem with it. Yeah, so big bed. Need the room because I'm a tall guy. I can sleep across this pretty comfortably. I'll watch TV up here, edit videos, whatever it is that I'm doing. We've got a whole mess of storage under here. My power's back here. I got 2 giant batteries on there.
Oh, those are big, big batteries.
Yeah, 2 300 amp hour batteries. So I got just short of 600 amp hours on my battery bank.
Nice.
We got 700 watts of solar on the roof, 3,000 watt inverter, 12 volt fuse box. So I have plenty of power to run through here. I even run some of the power up to my front cab where I run the fridge off. But I will tell you one thing. This is the current fridge I have. The reason I have this fridge in here right now, it has a handle, it has wheels. In the summer, this fridge, no fridge will survive in my van in the summer if I'm not in there running AC, which I can't do 24 hours a day. So this will actually come out and I can pick it up and wheel it away, and I'll just take it into work with me for the day.
Now that's a sweet deal.
That's why I use this in the summer. At some point when it's a little cooler, I'll probably put a different fridge in there.
So one of the questions I've got to ask is, how are you going in the bathroom?
Okay, so this is where all the magic happens right here.
That's the magic.
Luggable loo from Sportsman's Warehouse is $25. It's pretty cheap. Either that and iced tea bottles for
yeah, sure.
Works, or if you're out in the desert, just go out in the desert.
Yeah.
But I've seen all the different options. I have friends with cassette toilets, composting toilets, all of that, and I've seen the problems they've had. Emptying them can be a nightmare. This just works. It's very simple, and it works for me, and I've never had a problem doing this. As long as you have some way you can get rid of it, it's fine.
And then you're probably just doing gyms in Phoenix?
Showers, I have, Planet Fitness Black membership, but, and in the back, I put it on the ground already, I have a pop-up tent, shower tent.
Yeah.
And I actually have a CheapRV, one of those heated shower pumps that you can run on propane. I will use those. I don't always use those. I usually only really use that if I'm going away for more than just the weekend.
You mentioned earlier that you had some videos. So you have a YouTube channel.
I do have a YouTube channel, yes. I do record all my adventures, all my installs and stuff like that. It's Aussie Van Man. Well, we say Aussie, like Ozzy Osbourne in Australia, but I know Americans pronounce it Aussie. But it's Aussie Van Man on YouTube, Instagram, and Rumble. Been doing YouTube for a bit. When I first got into YouTube, it wasn't to do van life. I got into YouTube. My father actually passed away 6 months before I moved to the US. And going back, I didn't have any video of him to remember him by. So going forward, I didn't want the same thing for my family, my brother or my niece, stuff like that. If I ever have kids one day, I wanted something to leave behind that they could remember me by. So I started doing YouTube, just all my, whatever it was I was getting up to. And eventually, when I started doing van life, it became more of a van life travel channel. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy it.
Very good. Yeah, that this is a very practical utilitarian rig, but that's what you got to have.
Yeah.
You're a working man. You're about enjoying life. That's just what it requires.
Yeah. I mean, I've just slowly, gradually been building it up over the years. I'm always having to work on this thing somewhere in the forest, so I always try to carry some basic tools. Power tools definitely help. I always carry a drill because I never know when I'm going to need to take something apart in here or drill something in. So
yeah, I do too. And so you've got Starlink up there.
We do have Starlink. For the first 2 years of my van life journey, I was running a T-Mobile hotspot, but that runs off a cell signal. So quite often I'd be somewhere where I couldn't use it, or it was capped at 50 gig, which for some people is fine. But for me, when I'm uploading, like 7 gig videos onto YouTube, you burn through 50 gig pretty quick.
You sure do. Well, Brock, thank you so much for sharing your home. It's astonishing you can live in Phoenix in this van all year round. That's just amazing.
It's rough. Ideally, at some point in the future, I'll be able to move around and do other stuff. Right now, I'm not really got an interest of going anywhere. I got a job that I'm secure in, and I'm trying to focus on getting my citizenship before I do anything. But at some point, I'd love to work for actually like a state park somewhere in Arizona, maybe up north.
Sure.
I've always enjoyed state parks, national parks, and I always saw myself as working at one at some point. So
I've done it. It's a great job.
Yeah,
I love that job.
Yeah.
Folks, I'm sure you got some great ideas here. And if you did, then like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Bye now.